Welcome back to the news at 10. Students of Yaba College of Technology, Lagos today took to the streets to protest what they see as the poor treatment of their sick colleague by the school authorities. 27-year-old Charity Dizan from Badagry died earlier today, allegedly from complications of typhoid fever. Our correspondent Mary Alale Yusuf reports.
Students of Yaba College of Technology protesting the death of their colleague, 27-year-old Charity Dizan. It was alleged that complications of an illness made her anemic. The students feel Charity was not treated well.
They took her to FMC or what, I don't know. I don't know what they were saying, that they refused to attend to her because of money. That they needed 5,000 naira before they can attend to her.
The body of the deceased being borne to Aton Cemetery for interment. A short service. Students here insist that things must not remain as they are in the institution.
No drug is given by the school medical. You have to go and buy. You need to see the stress that was passed through. We are the one that went to get injections, drugs. In fact, drip that was given to Dazan Charity. We want them to either pull down the medical center inside the school, and there is no more medical center, or they prop the school and let them get the full equipment that is needed for us, because we pay for it.
Back at the school, the students had locked the gates and we could not get to the school authorities for their statement. Charity was a final year student of Office Management Technology and was sitting for her final exams. Mary Alale Yusuf, Channels Television News.
Sad incident indeed today. And the federal government has adopted both short and long-term solutions to save the receding Lake Chad Basin from drying up. And in an interview with our correspondent, Gbenga Shiru, the Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Sulaiman Adamu, explains President Buhari's Save the Chad appeal has started attracting global support.
We are trying to set up a local committee here to look at all the technical details, but there is a lot of what we call hydropolitics that is going to be involved. The interbasin transfer is supposed to take water from the Congo Basin across a watershed through Central African Republic, which you know has its own security issues now, and then into Lake Chad and through the existing rivers, River Chari, and then onto the Lake Chad proper. It's a long-term project, but we are committed to really giving it a faster push now than has been done before.
The president recently made an international appeal on the Save the Lake Chad campaign. What's the response like?
I think the response has been good. You know, there's a plan was adopted, which was jointly prepared by Lake Chad Basin Commission, the World Bank, and the French Development Agency. That program was unveiled in Paris in December at the COP21 conference. I think the World Bank has keyed into the project. It's a project about 900 million euro. Already the World Bank has pledged 300 million euro.
You can watch the full interview with the Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Sulaiman Adamu, on Question Time. It airs Thursday at 4:30 p.m. on DST Channel 254, with the repeat broadcast on Tuesday at 6:30 on our UK platform Sky 575. The Akwa Ibom State Governor, Mr. Gov Emmanuel, has called on the opposition in the state to put aside any form of rancor and support his administration in its efforts to build the state. The governor made the appeal today at a special Thanksgiving service to celebrate the Supreme Court's affirmation of his victory at the poll. Governor Gov Emmanuel commended President Muhammadu Buhari for his respect for separation of powers and the judiciary for upholding judicial integrity.
The Godswill at Pabio Stadium in Uyo comes alive as a large crowd of supporters and leaders of the People's Democratic Party converged for a special Thanksgiving service on Governor Emmanuel Udom's election victory, recently affirmed by the Supreme Court. Among the crowd are 5 PDP governors and former governors of Akwa Ibom, Anambra and Benue states, as well as the acting national chairman of the PDP, Chief Uche Secondus. The guest speaker and presiding bishop of Living Faith Church, David Oyedepo, premised his sermon on the importance of thanksgiving.
Every time you see the finger of God, acknowledge in thanksgiving, or the next blessing is never in view.
Both the acting national chairman of the PDP and governor of Ekiti State see recent judgments by the Supreme Court as an indication that the party is getting back on track.
All of us in this generation of PDP will make a difference. It's a time to reflect. And after the reflection we are going to take our inheritance back. We dedicate today to God Almighty, to the strength that God has given PDP. And PDP will come back with strength, with the help of God.
Governor Emmanuel Udom and his wife are full of gratitude. The governor says the Supreme Court's judgment was made possible by divine intervention and the support of the people.
The will of the people, the mandate of the people that was duly demonstrated on April 11 was called divine mandate. Let me thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for respecting the principles of separation of powers, because that's what brought us to where we are today.
The Supreme Court's affirmation of Governor Udom's victory may have put to rest all forms of litigations. However, the duly elected governor now faces the task of justifying his election by evolving developmental programs that will benefit everyone, irrespective of political affiliations.
We're still in the Niger Delta, where many communities can now boast of government presence, all thanks to the developmental projects being undertaken in the area by the Niger Delta Development Commission. However, some community leaders in Humode local government area of Edo State are appealing to the government to resume work on the projects that are yet to be completed in their areas. The community leaders in our community report tonight explain the significance of these projects to them, but authorities at the NDDC office in Benin City declined comments on the matter.
Now you're talking.
Umuode local government area shares a common boundary with Benin City. Even parts of the local government area constitute the outskirts of Benin, the Edo State capital. This proximity has not, however, rubbed off positively on Umuode in terms of basic amenities like pipe-borne water, good roads, power supply, and health centers. When the Niger Delta Development Commission decided to award projects to address their needs, the people were ecstatic. However, their joy has been cut short by the massive number of abandoned projects, including Ugonoba Water Scheme and Ugonoba Adisagbo Road Construction and Erosion Control projects.
The information we got about this, the studio is for electricity. So some of the workers, as I then said, it will even take from here to Auchi, part of Benin City. That's all we were told. I mean, I would say since the greatest road last about two rain seasons ago. Since then, they have, even if you can see a gravel heap on the left, before that car you are seeing there, so there were the people who heaped that gravel there. You may see one of their machine on the road. Since then, they didn't come back again. So we don't know what actually happened. If the federal government could not give them subvention, I don't know.
Igwobiobo, Health Center also abandoned.
This is the only benefit from communities in all local governments in Nigeria. So I beg federal government to tell NDDC to hasten up and complete their project. If you can see now, there's nothing here now. Everywhere is bush. So we are begging federal government to talk to the MDDC to start completing all their abandoned projects all over Nigeria.
NY, Ewowe, Igwezomo and Ekai electrification project, Orua water project, and Uzame road project abandoned halfway into their construction.
The construction started around 3 years ago. And it was abandoned by early last year.
These communities are in a dire strait, but a timely intervention towards completing these projects will no doubt improve the quality of life of the people and endear them to the NDDC.
Now you're talking.
Time now for business news with Emana Amawe.
You first. First Bank.
A very good evening to you and welcome to Business News. The Naira weakened at the parallel market today on strong demand for dollars from importers amid dwindling liquidity. The local currency eased to 318 to the greenback at the parallel market, while it closed around 197 Naira at the official interbank window. The Naira has been under pressure due to falling global oil prices, with the nation's foreign exchange reserves down to a more than 11-year low. And the Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed has given the State Internal Revenue Service the mandate to raise the state's IGR to 5 billion Naira monthly from the 800 million Naira it currently generates. The governor said this while commissioning the newly completed Internal Revenue Service office complex.
2 months ago, the Kwara State Governor, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, paid an assessment visit to the then ongoing construction of the edifice. With the completion of the office complex, called the Revenue House, the governor went down memory lane on why the new revenue generation agency was set up.
We sponsored a bill to abrogate the Board of Internal Revenue, BIR, and create the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service, KWIRS. Following the passage of that bill, I signed it into law, establishing the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service, with a mandate to mobilize revenue, block leakages, and expand Kwara State revenue base with a monthly target of 5 billion Naira.
He notes that the government is not collecting new taxes, but is improving on its mode of collection. The chairman of the Kwara Internal Revenue Service, Murtala Awodun, insists that targets will be met with the blocking of loopholes in the collection system.
This target is not built on any form of increase in taxes, but more on the blocking of leakages, as we observe, and rightly too, that as stakeholders, you have always been up and doing in your civic responsibility. In the name of Allah, the beneficiaries, the master.
The governor also commissioned the revenue court, purposely built for tax offenders, and warned that any tax offender in the state will not be spared.
In the meantime, the Anambra State government, in conjunction with Fidelity Bank, has held an internally generated revenue summit as part of plans to shore up its revenue base and meet up with its developmental plans. The summit suggests the way forward in revenue generation strategies, drawing examples from states that have excelled.
At the Professor Dora Akinwumi Women Development Center, Awka, it was a beehive of activities. Registration preambles were in top gear to usher in the first ever Anambra State Internally Generated Revenue Summit, organized in partnership with Fidelity Bank. The state governor, Mr. Willie Obiano, declares the meeting open with a high sense of optimism on increased IGR.
I believe that after this, my 2.2 billion monthly will start rolling in. And we need it to sustain what we are doing. On our own parts, we are trying to sanitize the collection process by ensuring that fake guys are no longer doing the collection. So on this note, I would like to declare this seminar open.
The key speaker and former Lagos State Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Mr. Ben Akabweze, while speaking on growing IGR, the Lagos State example, advocated bold revenue drive both in thinking and action, which include enlightening the people on the importance of paying taxes.
For too long, this social contract as a basis for modern society was vitiated in our country, especially through the years of military governance. They didn't bother people with taxes. They left people alone. I told you, by 1999, there were only 250,000 people paying taxes in Lagos. And they were mostly people employed by government and people in the formal, private sector. Because the reality is, when government begins to go out for taxes, it must also then hold itself more accountable to the people.
The chief executive of Fidelity Bank, Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo, says the platform will help Anambra State achieve the same feat as Lagos State.
We will not be surprised if Anambra begins to generate IGR like Lagos does under its leadership. And the essence of today is for people to share ideas so that we'll be on our way. We've noted the increase in IGR so far, but we believe that we can even triple that.
The Anambra State Fidelity Bank IGR Summit is one of many more platforms that will be created to promote tax payment and collection in the state.
Yes.
Meanwhile, now the performance of the equities market has been positive so far this week. The benchmark index gained 0.64% to close at 24,135.40 at the midweek session. BC Adebayo tells us more.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Reports. It was another positive session at the Nigerian equities market as key indicators extended gains for a third straight session. The key broad index grew by 0.64% to close at 24,135.40. Market capitalization also rose to 8.30 trillion naira. Seplat led the day's price gainers with 4%. Mobil appreciated by 5%, while Dangote Cement came next with 1.52%. With a 5% decline, 7up was the heaviest loser for the session. It's followed by Nestle and Unilever. FCMB, Continental Insurance and Equity Assurance were major contributors to market volume. In all, investors exchanged 320.75 million shares, valued at 1.82 billion naira in 3,178 deals. That ends the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Many thanks, BC. Well, let's take a look at other markets from around the world now. And that will be all on Business News. Thank you for watching. I'm Imana Amawe. It's back to Amarachi.
You first. First Bank.
Still ahead on the news at 10, national junior tennis coach Mohamed Duvale says he's optimistic of future of the sport in Nigeria. We'll have more in sports news. Please stay with us.